Hello there and Happy New Year. I hope you had a great New Year's celebration. I certainly did. I'm back with my first video of 2021 and today I'm going to be looking at my top 10 figures of 2020. So I'm not going to dilly-dally much. I'm going to try and make this short and sweet. I'm sure 10 minutes later I'll still be struggling to finish it, but I'll get going. So to start off, I have this Pokemon. It's a Battle Features figure, I'm pretty sure. It's one of the bigger sized ones of the recent lines, but it's just an honourable mention. I've always wanted a Scizor figure. I haven't seen many Scizor figures available, and it's just really nice. It's more on the toy side than the figurine side, so hence why I put it in honourable mentions, but I bought quite a few Pokemon figures this year, and this is definitely my favourite. Scizor is one of my favourite Gen 2 Pokemon, so that would certainly help. So, the second honourable mention, got the Galaxy of Adventures Kylo Ren. Of course, I don't have the lightsaber here because I got the cape on. Yeah, I just like this figure. I picked it up for cheap a couple of months ago. I don't like the fact that the Galaxy Adventures line kind of ended up killing the 3.75 inch 5-point articulation Star Wars line for the last movie. If I was Hasbro, I would have stuck with that, finished it with the 9th film, not one and changed it. But the Galaxy Adventures line is really nice. It's got a lot of articulation, which is good for a younger audience, because if the figures don't move much, they're not too fun to play with. And yeah, it's definitely aimed at a younger audience, but I particularly like the stylized designs because it's done to fit in with those animations, which some I like, some I don't like. Boba Fett one was cool, Luke one not so much, but yeah, that's just me. I think it's a particularly nice figure, this Kylo one, and I like the Rise of Skywalker Kylo design, so just thought I'd pop him in as an honorable mention. I'm hoping that the Luke one and the Boba and Ahsoka and such actually comes to hit shelves here, because I kind of do want to collect them if I can, but moving on. Next, I have what I believe is the Siege Springer figure, which I think was from 2019, but I didn't manage to get one till 2020. Nice figure, more accurate to the 1980s designs than the Thrilling 31. I love my Thrilling 31 still though, even though he has a wrecked foot hinge, because I tried to use him for a stop motion. Ended up not finishing it, ripped him up, not realizing there was blue tack on the bottom of the foot, and the hinge has been loose ever since, so sacrifice for no finished stop motion, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. Anyway, yeah, nice figure. I'm sure he might get a re-release at some point if he shows up in some more of this Gen 1 style content that's out at the moment. But, you know, time will tell. Yeah, moving on, the Cyberverse RC. Last thing aimed at a slightly younger audience in this top 10, but I've put it in here because it's just a really nice figure. It's intuitive, it's fun and simple to transform. It's one of the only figures I got this year in the Transformer lines that wasn't a headache to do or didn't have some QC issue stopping it from rolling or something ridiculous. It's just a nice fun figure and I think they did a great job. The more intuitive the transformation, the more I seem to like it, especially these days. I'm not the transformation whiz I was back in 2014, where I knew them all to like muscle memory. Anyway, moving on, got Blitzwing from the Bumblebee movie. Just showed him off in my last video 2020 yesterday, Bumblebee collection. I know he's a Starscream imposter. I would have rather they went for something more accurate to G1, maybe gave him the animated faces. I have the actual Bumblebee line Blitzwing of this that did have a swappable face of sorts to be like animated Blitzwing. I haven't opened that. I'll be evaluating it before I do. But yeah, got the nice accurate gun from the film. I think that was in the Cybertron scene. And you've got this nice thing you use to here to either pierce Bumblebee's voice box or rip it out. It was "Let's make it official" or something like that, he said. Yeah, it's a cool figure. It's big, it's chunky, it's fun. Yeah, I like it. I just enjoyed transforming it. I didn't find it was a headache. And as I'm sure I'll say a million times of every Transformer this video, although looking at the others, they're kind of a pain in the ass to do. They're intuitive. So moving on from there, we have my one and only Black Series figure in this top 10. Count Dooku from Attack of the Clones. My favourite Black Series figure this year. He's got a nice quality cape with a different colour on the inside, which is a nice touch. And a very nice head sculpt that's probably the most akin to the actor that I've seen recently. I don't think my camera's doing it justice right now, but at least in person it looks a hell of a lot like Christopher Lee, which is more points to it. Yeah, it's a great fun figure, nice soft goods, nice cape, nice face sculpt. Definitely my favourite Black Series of the year. And he can stand up. I mean, not many of my Black Series can stand up, so that's bonus points. Being a bit lazier here. Not just this, of course. First and one of two Marvel Legends. Spider-Gwen from Into the Spider-Verse. She's a lovely figure. I haven't had a Spider-Gwen before, at least not a properly articulated one. I had this Spider-Gwen from the Spider-Verse line. Got the nice bonus Spider-Ham here. But yeah, it's particularly nice. Has a swappable Gwen Stacy head, swappable hands. I just think she's a nice, well-articulated figure, and one I've been glad to, add to my collection this year, as Spider-Gwen is something I was lacking. But moving on, what do we got next? The 2007, what sort of 2008 it may be, correct me if I'm wrong, Concept Camaro Bumblebee. I wanted a new Concept Camaro Bumblebee from the 2007 film since 2014, so this was a nice, well-awaited thing. It's one of the most accurate looking Bumblebees in my opinion. Fun to transform, some quality control issues, like a lot of mine. The first time I transformed it, I couldn't get it to tab in well enough to actually roll, which isn't great, but it's still a lovely looking figure. Its robot mode is definitely the triumph though. The car mode's really nice and sculpt and everything. Wish it was a bit more orange for the, the sunrise yellow and such, and it included Bumblebee's actual head, or like the swappable kind of half face thing, almost like stop motion replacement that the Bumblebee movie Bumblebee has, the VW Beta one. That's what I like to see. But anyway, we're getting the Revenge of the Fallen version of this soon, which I'll be picking up. I hope they tweak it a lot for a Dark of the Moon one and actually give us an accurate swappable Concept Camaro face, but time will tell on that one. Also, he has that blast as an add-on, like unlike some of the ones where he had like a full blaster arm. Revenge of the Fallen, as much as I love that figure. Yeah, this one's pretty good. I know I said in a previous video that I wanted more gunmetal grey on him, and that still stands. I know he's a Bumblebee, but he still had more gunmetal grey. But yeah, that is what it is. Moving on, there's a lot of Transformers here. Sentinel Prime, pretty much the same thing that stands from my original trilogy Transformers video. Yeah, it's an intuitive figure. It's definitely the most accurate looking. Sentinel Prime, the Voyager from Dark of the Moon, not that I owned it or the leader, fell short, and the leader had this massive bulky chest. Kudos to them for actually trying to do it as a part of the vehicle. That's something they definitely lack nowadays, but I am actually starting to like the faux parts more, because the faux parts can get the deformation better, and as long as they work out how to incorporate it well and don't end up lazy or too much of a backpack in saying that, I think it's good. This is kind of accurate. I mean, how else do you do like a massive cape coming from the top of a fire engine? That's just a nightmare. That would not have been fun to try and think of. Not to mention, like, how do you do it on a toy? I mean, they would have probably had to do parts forming for it, but, not a toy engineer. Being lazy again. 2018 Venom movie. This dude cannot stand up on his own, so just conveniently shift my hand around so I can try to focus, and I nearly actually cut the video short there with the volume button. Fantastic. Cool figure. Should have got it in 2018, as I've said before. Great, bulky, chunky, well articulated, just looks overall fantastic. He's just really nice. He's chunky. He feels value for money. I just love him and was glad to finally get him. Swappable head, of course, but not mucking around with any extra parts when I'm one-handed. Not too much to say. Yeah, well articulated, well sculpted, well painted. A figure we needed. Yeah, I would have, as I've said before, would have released it with the Hive, but at least he's probably more accurate because he's after the movie's out, but still over 2 years later. It's probably less overseas, but you know, when we got it here, came out about 2 years after Venom came out. Then second, we've got, yes, number 2 already. I probably should have been numbering this, but oh well. Shockwave, leader class. If you remember my original trilogy Transformer video, I didn't have one of these. I picked this up yesterday. It's finally hit shelves at Big W, which is great. Almost a year late, I think, but I'm just glad to get one. He's got nice accessories, which I wouldn't dare bring up here because of how small they are. A wheelie and a brains. Wish they were a bit bigger, but they are in scale. They're nice. Nice to get those too. Also, he comes with a parachute dude, so you can recreate the scene where a parachute soldier guy falls onto him and the parachute covers his head, and then he gets shot by the wreckers and the soldiers and his eye gums loose, so then Optimus Prime can mutilate him later. Yeah, it's strange with Shockwave, and you know, he's meant to be the brilliant Decepticon scientist, and in the movie he just kind of deeply set Optimus, did some cool stuff with the driller and got his butt kicked. But this figure looks beautiful. It's got this nice worn paint effect that's actually working pretty well in my opinion. Dry brushing on the blade, but particularly you got like the purple done in as a worn effect over the gunmetal color. And I think that's more what he was actually like in the film, so I really appreciate that. And yeah, great face sculpt. He's a nice improvement from the original Shockwave, who will be moving to my legacy shelf. As I said before, he's sentimental and professional fingers in front of the camera. But yeah, he's a remold, I believe, an extensive retool of the Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, but I'm not complaining. Could be a bit bigger for a leader and stuff for price, but leader class figure, because they cost a bomb here. But yeah, I really like him. About time we got a leader class Shockwave, in my opinion. So, gonna move him over here, as he's a bit bigger than the others, and I've taken up all my room up there. So, last but not least, number 1. Let's get to it, hey? My number 1 figure of 2020 was the SH Figuarts Shrek, who's doing a nice job standing there. This is an absolutely fantastic figure. It blew everything else out of the park. Just look at that head sculpt. Is that beautiful or what? He's extremely well articulated, can virtually only hold this pose, and he actually has farting action. So your dog would probably like him as a squeaky toy as well. But just kidding, time to end this horrible charade. Yeah, Shrek is not my top number 1 figure of 2020. That's actually a figure my aunt got me from Shrek 2 in 2004 that I still have and love to this day. But moving on, my actual number 1 2020 is Dark of the Moon Megatron. You probably heard me singing its praises in my original trilogy Transformers collection video. I love this figure. He deserved a leader class. He's much better than that Voyager we got in Dark of the Moon, not that I owned it. He's got Igor, he's got the shotgun, he's got soft goods for the cloak, he's got a chain. It's the whole package, albeit a bit loose in the hips on my one. There's not much more to say. Transformation's a pain in the butt, but it's worth it. I think the robot mode's really where he shines. These are a bit blocky here, but I'm not really complaining. They did a good job on the engineering. I think he's just a beautiful figure. Definitely my favourite of the year, and was great to get him for my birthday. So, thanks for watching my top 10 figure video of 2020. If you liked this, I might do my top 10 worst figures of 2020, but it was hard to choose my best, so that might be difficult. But if you like it and want to see that, let me know. Thank you for watching as always. Try to keep the uploads pretty regular. Might have a week or so off though at some point, so don't worry if there's not much happening. More content's coming. Still got to do that Ben 10 video and more Pokemon playthroughs. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you had a great New Year's. And yeah, take care. See you later.